Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative, speaking to Liza Colón-Zayas about FX's The Bear on Hulu. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Peter.
This is
Hello.
so exciting. I love this show so much. I was constantly exhausted watching this show. Well, I'm sure it was like overwhelming making it as well, right?
In the best way. In the best way. Like Chris and Joanna Kahlo and Maddie Matheson, they're so specific. And Coco Store, food consultant, they're so specific in what goes on in those kitchens that, you know, things were it looked crazy, but we had a blast.
Absolutely. But I also feel like, do you notice how quick paced the show is? Like immediately, like reading the script, or does it only kind of sink in after kind of a couple of days on set? Because it's like really fast paced at times.
It's super pat. I mean, there was no hanging out in your trailer. You know, we were, which was so cool because you know, we had a blast. I don't know how else to tell you. It was specific. There was so much generosity and kindness and patience, and they were so open to whatever you wanted to try that I felt far more stressed out watching it than I did doing it.
It's so crazy because I definitely want to talk about episode 7, but I had a friend who watched it recently and he's like, he hasn't watched the whole thing yet. So he's like, he was working, he was busy. So he's on episode 4 and he's like, I am drained watching this. And I'm kind of like, keep watching.
Keep watching, hang in there. But you know, that's the biggest compliment I've gotten is from people, and I don't know if your friend is in the industry, but people who have worked in kitchens at every level, whether it's a short order cook or some global Michelin chef. The feedback of the authenticity and the stress was on point. And it seems like, my God, it just seems like at any level, you don't just get that thick of a skin.
But it's interesting that you mentioned that because I feel like, so every time I'm very interested in what goes on in a restaurant and anything culinary related, but the fiction point of view, like when a movie or TV show comes out about a restaurant or a kitchen staff, like I love watching it. They don't come out as much as I would hope, you know what I mean? So I'm wondering, you know, the success of The Bear, the reception, do you hope that it can be kind of a gateway to like more content in that kind of sphere of like the kitchen culinary arts? Have you thought about that at all?
Absolutely, because these workers are the backbone of American kitchens.
Yes.
And you know, it's, you know, watching these cooking shows, which I watch a lot of them, and I have long before this job came along, you know, it's just, I haven't experienced something that really shines the light on what's not glossy and sexy. I'm not saying The Bear isn't sexy. I think, you know, clearly Jeremy's getting a lot of love.
Well, no, because it's really, I just feel like as soon as they walk into the beef, it's like business. No, like kind of what you said, no glam. Like it's just business. It's like these orders have to be made, potatoes have to be peeled. We got to get the stoves going. Like that's what it is. And that's a good time to my next question because I think you do such a great job with Tina. I feel like the arc there is so good throughout the whole episode. I feel like if there's an argument that could be made that this character grows the most out of all the characters that work for the beef, in my opinion. And I'm just wondering, like, there's misunderstood components, I feel like, with Tina early on. Like, I don't feel like she's being as, like, mean as intense. She's just maybe she has a hard time grasping change. That's her station. Get out of my way. Like, I'm doing my thing. But then you see her kind of blossom a little bit and change and understand the landscapes. Is it fun playing a character like this that's very complex and changes a lot?
Yeah, it's my wheelhouse. I mean, I often play like either the long-suffering mom or the pseudo sociopath.
Yeah.
With the violent streak, but I don't judge them. I never approach those complicated, hurt people.
Yeah.
And by judging them.
Yeah.
And I think that it speaks to how open and brilliant Chris and Joanna are.
Yeah.
That they saw room for her growth and for her nuance.
Yeah.
Far more than I did.
So you agree with me, though,
right?
You agree with me, right? She's a completely different person after episode 3 or 4. Yeah.
Yeah, because hey, listen, this is a woman trying to survive in a super toxic male dominated culture.
Absolutely, yes.
And she can get eaten alive. She didn't go to culinary school. Mm-hmm. She's a single mom. Gentrification is all around. Yes. She's borne witness to what that looks like, and being put out to pasture. And then what else does she have? And not only as a job, I think that these folks, as they are a community. They hold each other up. They have to have each other's backs.
Yes.
And it's grueling. And so I think, as a woman, she's going to get judged far more harshly. Mm-hmm. But it's the reality from what I'm hearing and what I've witnessed.
Yes.
My short experience working behind the counter and peeking through that window pass and seeing what the hell is going on back there. But also witnessing that back and forth and the messing with each other, the digs, but ultimately under all of that,
yes,
hopefully, is people who have each other's backs.
Well said. No, absolutely. And no, it's so great to see. Okay, so episode 7, I do have is the most chaotic, exhausting thing of all time. Yeah, you're smiling. Yeah, you're I mean, it's one of the best things I've ever seen. I can't even it's crazy. The whole show's amazing, but that episode, anything you could tell me about that episode? Anything you could tell me about the vibes on set filming that, about the takes? Is there anything you could tell me about episode 7?
Well, we rehearsed the day before.
Yep.
And then we shot it, all of those long takes a few times.
Yes.
And it was just exhilarating.
But did it feel like you were when you rewatch clips of it? Have you got a chance to watch it? Have you watched the Bear?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Did it feel as exhausting watching it compared to making it?
It feels far more exhausting watching it.
Okay.
Way more exhausting watching it.
Okay.
It really is. These guys, these folks, these writers and the director, the DP, I mean, there's just so much kindness.
Yeah.
And trust.
But yeah,
you learn it and you feel each other out and it just works.
Because just every character, Tina as well, everyone in that situation is just thrown in 0 to 100 within 2 minutes of the episode because the pre-orders it was forgotten to take the pre-orders off. Mm-hmm. So it's just happening. So it's no one has time to do anything. You know what I mean? It's just I can't even imagine.
Yeah, without giving away, tricks or plot, when you need to cross through, there's someone off camera, signaling you to do that.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Each person has specific marks to hit and there's always someone to make sure you get there.
Yeah.
And so
What's Lionel's character's name again in the show?
Marcus.
Marcus, sorry, yeah. So Marcus, I'm gonna edit this part out. 5, 4, 3,
Okay.
2, 1. No, Marcus, but it's that episode, like Marcus had to have basically his dreams crushed for his dreams to like start, if you think about it, right? Because then that scene of Carmy actually tasting the donut, oh my God, like
The floor donut.
yes.
It was delicious. It was amazing.
The floor hashtag floor donut.
Floor donut. So good.
And it's interesting too because you look at this show and congratulations to you and the cast and crew for season 2. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
Very quick renewal, which is amazing. But if you think about it deep down, I don't think it's that surprising because this show just dropped on Hulu and it's just like I've known so many people that have watched it. And it's one of those shows too where the word of mouth really came out. Like I remember being at work and telling one person, then next week, like 5 more people. Yeah, I heard you talking about the bear. Like it's been crazy. I guess now you just kind of, are you like really anxious to go back to work or are you just still trying to enjoy the season 1? I mean, it's all happening.
I'm
so
anxious
fast,
to
right?
get back to work.
Yeah.
I'm anxious, definitely. Yeah. I mean, I can't stress enough, like no bullshit. There's real love.
Yes.
People in front and behind the camera.
Yeah.
The crew, they're just such, I've never been on such a healthy set.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm anxious to get back, man. I'm like, I want to see what happens. And I think it was brilliant to drop all the episodes because, people really do, as exhausting as it is to watch, countless people talking about, I binged it all in one sitting or reaching out to me and talking about how they're now on their 3rd go round in watching it. So
yeah, no, absolutely. Did you and the cast find out about season 2 when everyone else did, or were you given a little heads up before?
Few hours.
Okay. That's always fun, right? Because those few hours are just for you and the cast.
Like literally, like, like what's happening?
I know.
Yeah, no, literally the night before.
Yeah, that is so great.
And then it was a few hours later.
It's so great. Can you just talk a little bit about Jeremy and working with him and those scenes and just, I mean, it's just unbelievable, right? And just nonstop pace. And just what was that like? Kind of a lot of those scenes between Tina and Carmy. Like, what's that like?
He is, I didn't get to watch much of Shameless. And so I didn't know. I just didn't know what to expect from anybody. Yeah. And sometimes I don't want to look at everyone's resume because it could backfire on me sometimes, and then I get a little, self-conscious. Yep. And to walk into that room and he is so focused. Yeah. I mean, there was no doubt in my mind that he trained hard. He was meticulous. He is so kind and sweet. He treats everyone like his peer. Yeah. Whether we're on set, whether we're in the scene, I just don't know how somebody that young could be that incredible. He doesn't drop lines. He doesn't get lost. He doesn't get flustered. He doesn't chop a finger off. My man could chop.
Yeah, but it's like after episode 1, you feel like you've known Carmy for like a whole season, right? And that's very difficult to do for an actor, right? Like I have a lot of friends in the acting industry as well, and it's like it's an art, right? To kind of step in and episode 1, you watch it and you feel like you know this character for like a while, right?
Yeah, that speaks volumes to the writing and what he does. And
Yeah.
I think for the most part, what everyone does, because it's so easy
Yeah.
to have gone a different way with him.
Mm-hmm.
And to, take some cheap shortcuts.
Yep.
And I'm so grateful they didn't fall into that trap. And so, so he is a master at wanting to be truthful and wanting to be specific and be generous.
Absolutely. No, it's so great. He did a great job. Everyone did such a great job. Liza, thank you so much for coming on Pop Turtle Chat about the Bear. It was so great chatting with you.
Thank you. Thank you for your enthusiasm and for wanting to share the love.
Absolutely. So, FX The Bear on Hulu. They can stream all the episodes now. Season 2 is going to come when season 2 comes. Is there an Instagram account people can keep update with? You're on Instagram, right?
Yeah. Liza Colón-Zayas.
Awesome. Well, this is
_LCZ.
Awesome. Well, this has been Pop Turtle, youtube.com/Pop Turtle for previous episodes. You'll be able to catch Liza Colón-Zayas as Tina and FX is The Bear, streaming now on Hulu. All 8 episodes. Until next time, this is Liza and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.